The Clippers, Jazz, and Heat have agreed to a trade that sends Norman Powell to Miami, John Collins to LA, and Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a second-round pick to Utah. Powell averaged 22 points, shot 42% from three last season. The beauty about working at ESPN is you can just bring in the person that broke this story, our senior NBA insider, Shams Charania, who joins us now for much more on this deal. What can you tell us about why both the Clippers and the Heat made this trade? And start with the Miami perspective.
Pat Riley, after all this drama that happened last season, he vowed that there would be roster changes for next season. And what they went out and did is get a major scoring punch in Norman Powell. This is a player, like you said, 22 points a night, 42% from three-point range last season. He was a borderline all-star. And so the Heat want to bring him in and see him fit long-term alongside Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. That's a lot of scoring in that backcourt between Hero and Norman Powell, but they really feel like he's going to be a perfect fit. They looked into a few other options at the guard and wing positions, but they settled on Norman Powell. And why this trade was possible for both the Jazz perspective and the Clippers perspective is I'm told the Clippers and Jazz were not going to re-sign both Powell and John Collins respectively to long-term deals. And so the Clippers and Jazz were both able to go get players that they feel will help. The Clippers wanted a lob threat, specifically for James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard playing more at the 3 and the 4 now gives them some more versatility with John Collins. So this is a team now in LA that's brought in John Collins, Brook Lopez. They're going to be pursuing guard help as well. So names like Bradley Beal, Chris Paul, Malcolm Brogdon, I'm told, are all on the Clippers target list if Brad Beal is bought out in Phoenix. So both teams felt like they were able to benefit, and largely because they were not going to keep long-term their own player in terms of the Jazz with John Collins and the Clippers with Norman Powell.
LA could also still be in the market for depth at the guard position, maybe a Bradley Beal or a Chris Paul to help solidify a running mate for point guard James Harden. There's just been a barrage of NBA news. You need to take a moment, take a breath. You need to Ohm, which is what we're going to do with our Clippers reporter, Ohm Youngmisuk. Ohm, what can you share with us about why the Clippers wanted to make this move?
Well, certainly Norm Powell played his way into earning a new contract. He was entering the last year of his deal. Remember when Kawhi Leonard was out for the first 2+ months? Norm Powell played like an all-star as a starter, averaging 21 points a career year. But the Clippers are looking to get more athletic at power forward. You saw what happened in the first round against Denver. Aaron Gordon kind of had his way. Nikola Jokic as well. They needed to get more athletic. John Collins is a guy that Lawrence Frank just said on a conference call with reporters, a guy that they had kept their eye on for a couple years now. He gives them a rim runner, a guy that can be a threat at the rim for James Harden. He gets more athletic power forward. And as you said, it allows them to move Kawhi Leonard to small forward as well. And then his contract comes off the books. So it's a thing where the Clippers are trying to maintain flexibility, not only from 2 years from now, when Kawhi Leonard comes off the books, and James Harden is also aligned with that as well. But they now have a lot of flexibility next summer if another star should become available.
I don't want to talk about next summer because you mentioned keeping your eye on something. What other potential moves for the Clips should we be keeping our eye on, Ohm?
Oh, yeah. Lawrence Frank, right before the end of his availability, said, we are not done yet. They have a 5.3 mid-level exception ready to use. They need a starting 2 guard now with Norm Powell gone. So if a guy like Bradley Beal gets bought out by Phoenix, as many people believe could happen, well, then the Clippers would be a nice landing spot for Bradley Beal potentially, because they could slide him into the starting lineup. The Clippers have a history of trying to get stars on the cheap when they are available suddenly on the market. Some of them have been past their prime, like Russell Westbrook, John Wall, or Rajon Rondo, but Bradley Beal would be a nice fit for them. And then also, Lawrence Frank also said they still need another playmaker. You mentioned Chris Paul and a potential reunion. He is out there, but they have a clear need at backup point guard as well for James Harden.
Yeah, you mentioned Bradley Beal, just 17 points per game last season. That was his fewest since 2015, but can still get a bucket for anybody at any time, rather. Ohm Youngmisuk with the latest around the NBA. Appreciate you, Ohm. For
I'm on fire.